My Cali girl, Mashote, was good. My love you, girl. So yeah. So I just received the video, and it talks about Bill Gates and vaccinations and the coronavirus and how he's linked to it and how he's involved. Before I get deep into that video that was sent to me, I want to speak about another video that I browsed across in a news feed the other day, and it was of a video that was of Trevor Noah from Comedy Central, I believe it is. He has his own like talk show, it's a comedy show, and he's interviewing Bill Gates. Now, first off, I want to say right there that seemed odd to me because I saw it as some type of ploy to put black man interviewing white man to like show some sense of equilibrium in the dialogue from out of the gate, right? But then I looked at it more and said, well, no matter how controversial Trevor Noah's jokes are, and how he can embark on political jokes at that, he's still a comedian to me. Now, he may have some scholastic background or something, but for me to know him for that, I don't know him for that. That hasn't been brought to the forefront, so I can't really take him as serious as I would take someone else to interview Bill Gates. So I didn't see the interview. I had other things that I had to do, and but I seen very small part of it where Bill Gates was talking about how he couldn't foresee that it was the actual coronavirus. Excuse me, when he was speaking about an epidemic that would relate to this type of activity, right? So right there, I was just like, let me just rush to the comment section real quick. And what the comment section did was just confirm what I thought anyway. It's just like, oh, thanks, Trevor and Bill, for bringing this to us. And I'm like, oh, this is a bunch of sappy bullshit. Like, I can't see it because of what's occurring right now, because I've been seeing how Bill Gates has been linked to this type of stuff. So the video that my Cali girl sent to me nudges in and puts puts it under a microscope with the information that's involved here. There's a patent that he actually signed, he signed, that is a vaccine in response to the coronavirus. He did this through a company which he funds, right? He funds a multitude of companies, but this is one of them. And he's a strong advocate for vaccination and population control. Now, my thing is this, right? For anyone who gives Bill Gates at this point a platform to speak, they're pretty much aiding and embedding a murderer, not only a murderer, but one who is into mass genocide. And that's just the way that it is. I don't see how anyone can see it any different than that. And this is the reason why. I'm not just talking out of the side of my neck. There's been deaths proven to be linked and associated with vaccinations. There are, however, no proof. There's no proof of that these vaccinations that he has signed off on now to combat this coronavirus will work or won't cause deaths or are healthy. You understand what I'm saying? So that right there is, it's like the corporate CEOs of these tech companies want to overlook real science because they have the money to do so. So, and this goes for educators that are listening as well. Y'all got to get more involved on the business side of what it is that you're being professionals in, because without it, the continuation of these people owning your research pretty much is going to allow them to do what they want to do with it, and you're just going to be an educator at the end who, despite the facts that you've spent long hours producing, present to the people, are going to be overlooked by some sissy who would never swing an axe on a battlefield to kill not one person. So you got to understand, because there's scientific proof that declares the deaths associated with vaccinations, in contrast to some vaccination that will cure something, is all the proof that everyone who is listening and who is knowledgeable about this, it's all you need to know that you're supporting a murderer. I would go as far as saying, don't use Windows products, don't use anything Microsoft, don't use, and then it'll be like, yeah, okay, yeah, right. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, like that whole boycott thing will probably backfire, right? But I'm just saying, right? Listen to this. Not too long ago, I did a video about how the government in New York was extorting the Jewish people. And people, I know people might have been caught off guard, but like, what do you mean? And it's just like this. And this video got like 48 views, by the way. You know, I got over 4,000 subscribers. I think 5,000 subscribers now. This video got like 48 views. And I'm not upset about that, because I understand when you're playing, and this is the point that I want to make, when you're playing, and not playing, we're very serious here, but when you're stating things inside of a industry and a platform that these guys pioneered, when you're using their platform, you can't expect certain information to get the same type of widespread effect that other content that you put out gets, right? So I understand that. So I'm not upset that the video only got 48 views. It's just a confirmation to my testimony. But in this video, I stated how the Wall Street Journal made an article, and they said that, you know, there's a wild breakout of the mumps, right? Or the measles. That's what it was, the measles. And the measles is back and it's stronger than ever, and we've got it. Like, this was a drill before coronavirus. I don't know if y'all recall this happening. So this happened, and then they was talking about how they caught a few cases in the school, and a couple of the schools happened to be Jewish. And inside of this article, they was talking about how this comes from being unhygienic, you know, not clean and stuff like that. And they had a picture of a Jewish woman pushing a baby stroller, up a block in Brooklyn, and there was like heaps of garbage bags on the sidewalk, right? So I just made it evidently clear with the same thing that the journalist made clear, that you are attacking these people, because if you weren't, you would not have put that picture there. You could have left this whole article there with no picture, but instead you chose to choose that picture and post it up there because you're trying to signal these people out. Does this sound familiar, is the question that I want to ask you. Does this sound familiar to some type of ideology that came into play years ago, and then the great old Americans went in and swooped in, killed about 12 of them only out of how many people who were involved with some type of mass genocide, right? Took the rest of the mental giants from that side, brought them over here, what would you call it, amnesty or whatever the fucking shit is called. And now all of a sudden, some years later, here we go with this rhetoric. And, you know, I just brought it to the forefront. Because I seen it and I said something. Now, I tell you this, I lean more towards the side of paying a fine. I said, yo, if they knock on my door talking about, yo, you're going to get tested for measles or get vaccinated for measles, like, you're not putting no needle in my arm, bro. It's not happening. So what's the alternative? A fine? I'll get my bread up. I'll pay the fine. And that's still extortion, right? You're still being extorted. But I just had to say it to let people know, like, look, it's a tactic. It's a war tactic. This is what people do when they're money hungry and they're trying to kill you in the same sentence, but they'll take either or. If you could pay to survive even longer, or if you're a natural anatomy, then so be it, but you just got to pay me to stay around like that. You get what I'm saying? So I'll voice myself. I don't see no more attacks about the measles. I don't see no more attacks on the Jewish people in that type of realm. Not saying I stopped it, but the point being here is that speaking about it, saying something about it, is a way that you can stop this shit from happening. Because if you're unprepared, if you don't know what to do when these people are doing little slick shit like that article in such a big publication, by the time it hits your doorstep, you don't know what to do. You probably would take the shot. Most of you would take the shot. And I'm going to tell you like this. Years ago, I'd have took the shot too, because I believed in that shit. I didn't, you know what I'm saying? I didn't have the knowledge that I know now. But there are actually reported deaths and autism links and all of that to these vaccinations. And when you find out the ingredients that are in these vaccinations, you find out that these people are out of their fucking mind, yo. They are really out of their fucking mind. And they use what? Hospitals to facilitate this shit. The same place that are getting all these donations, or they are fabricating their situations on mainstream news media to get your donations, when in all actuality, motherfuckers are really staying home. They're not going to a hospital or nothing. Which I think is the better choice anyway. But again, this puts emphasis on another point that I need to make. Utilizing their technology to get organized and bring things into formation may not be your best first solution. Your best first solution may be to communicate in your own community. And I know it's challenging for a lot of people because you just don't fuck with your neighbors like that. you've become accustomed to being able to discuss things like we're discussing them right now. We're all tuning in from long distance locations, and it's benefiting all of us. And by the time, and it's convenient because you as the individual can tap and press play whenever you feel like you want to. Even if you're busy, you can save the video to listen to it later, and then you can share it amongst the people who you know give a fuck, excuse me, and you know what I'm saying. So it can help, and it will help. However, when you empower yourself in your community, they really can't fuck with you like that, because then you don't need their fucking devices. You don't need all of their technology. And I'm not saying everybody in tech industry is evil, but when you got a dude like this, I guess you can outright hear that I just don't like Bill Gates. I don't like him as a person. I don't care what he's done for the world. I don't care, because that little, and to me it's not even little, but that one thing that he did and that he's doing and the agenda that he's pushing lets me know that he's someone other than the CEO of the founder of Microsoft. All right. And this video that my people sent me, right? This video goes into deeper detail of where his mindset derives from. That came from back in the days, and how, the philosophers said that diseases and famines and any type of genocides and infanticide even are necessary evils in society to control the size of population. And like I said, like, yo, if you bout it like that, like, yo, grab your axe, get your gun, come out on the field and go slaughter something. And I really don't mean that, but I mean that like figuratively. You know what I'm saying? Instead of like tossing your money around and having these people do, Planned Parenthood and all, like, they're all big on this whole eugenics thing. You know what I'm saying? So again, you got to understand the agenda, the doctrine is something that's familiar, something that was supposed to, according to history books, was supposed to be obliterated. However, here, this same thing is coming into play again, and they keep trying it, they keep trying it, they keep trying it. And it's like, listen, people need to be more informed. Educators need to be more about their business and not relying on all of the business people to support what it is that they research. I'm a business leader myself, and I'm telling you, like, I've had options to say, oh, you can put some of your research and get it put out there, and it'll be financed by this company or this charity. And I'm like, that's okay. I'll pay for my own shit. You understand what I'm saying? Because I know, should my research be strong enough and impactful enough, they're going to try to patent my shit and then try to, you know what I'm saying? No, I don't get down like that. Like, I'm ahead of the game when it comes to that shit. I know where that shit can lead to. So get involved in your community if you can. Like, I know that shit is easier said than done. So I'm just saying, if you can, communicate with people in your community. Find ways to not rely on technology as much until there can be a sweep made in this whole tech industry, because it's at hand. It's coming. And they don't probably even know that it's coming. However, it's coming. And that's why, this thing is a cover up to make it look like, oh yeah, we're trying to save the world because this amount of people will be here in this amount of time and everything. Like, nah, man. Like, nah. Because look, the same way that I said about that whole, they came to knock on the door for the measles thing and all that, what it'll result in is probably the military coming to knock on your door, because it'll be a case such as the coronavirus that is so huge that it would take more police than the locals can provide, and so then all of a sudden now there's military at your door. Sound familiar? That's all I'm saying. Does it sound familiar? And if you support that regimen, see you on the other side. Or see you on the battlefield, should I say.